Good morning, gang. Happy Wednesday morning. So, November 1st, and we're almost done with the year. Unbelievable. Uh, Not that this was any great prediction or whatever about, be a little bit more vigilant about going outside or paying attention. It's all part of the plan. Okay. You and I have talked many times here in the last few weeks about, hey, watch yourself when you go out because terrorism's, around the corner. Okay. And I'm not talking just the Lewiston, Maine thing of some deranged liberal out on a shooting rampage. Yes, 91% of uh, mass shootings are committed by liberals, just if you want a fact on that one. Uh, but more toward what's going on in Israel. Now, most of you probably know by now that the Houthis, the Iranian backed Yemeni terrorist organization, has now declared war on Israel. Okay, so the war in the Middle East is expanding. We all expected that. No big prediction there or anything. We also talked about being careful of the terrorist threat as this spreads around the world, that all these sleeper cells get awakened, all these radicalized idiots, say, hey, this would be a good time to go do something stupid. Yeah, same thing. Well, finally, the government is waking up and go, oh, gee, you know what? This might be a problem. We might want to let people know. Christopher Wray, that high quality FBI director we have yesterday, or, in office, his quote from yesterday, like we needed to know this, but it's nice that they finally admitted it. His quote: "The reality is that the terrorism threat has been elevated throughout 2023, but the ongoing war in the Middle East has raised the threat of an attack against Americans in the United States to a whole nother level." Thanks, Captain Obvious. Like, we didn't know that. Maybe the Starbucks sipping skinny soy boy people didn't get it, but the rest of us kind of go, you know what? We actually pay attention out there and know what's going on. Well, of course, then you get people who are going to say, nah, nothing. Now, let me give you a couple of examples that happened, here in the last couple of days. A couple of you mentioned last night in the live stream about all of a sudden illegals coming in with IEDs. Hadn't heard it at the point. Looked it up. Guess what? Okay. Yeah, this was mentioned on the floors of Congress, where that senators were talking about illegals coming across the border with explosive devices the size of cannonballs, okay, the bowling ball, okay, that were, as John Barrasso from Wyoming said, tailor-made for terrorism. Now, if you're trying to come into a country and claim you want political asylum, is bringing a bomb with you a good idea? Hey, Joe, wake up. These are not oppressed people just coming for a better life. Not at all. Okay? So you get that. How about what happened in Paris overnight? You had a woman dressed in a hijab, okay, as a suicide bomber threatening to blow up the Paris subway. Fortunately, the cops took action. And guess what they did? They shot her, which was a good idea. Unfortunately, the cops need a little bit more marksmanship training because she's still okay. She's in the hospital recovering from her gunshot wounds. When it comes to terrorists, you need to start learning about headshots. Okay. None of this, let's play Rambo and we'll shoot him in the knee and disable him. No, sorry. Get better aim. I bring this up because we'll bring up something that's back from a few years that's kind of been scrubbed from the internet. But fortunately, enough of us paid attention. Anybody remember the Daigle report? Okay. That showed World War III in full force in 2025, guys. 2025 is now 14 months away. Remember where you were 14 months ago? That would be, I don't know, last September. You were probably out harvesting vegetables out of your garden last year. That's how long 14 months ago is. Ain't long. Okay. Daigle reports as World War III is in full force by 2025. That Israel, this is what the report said. Remember when this was written? Okay, this was written 10 years ago, at least. Israel's population would be decimated by over 60%. Yeah, I think we're on track for something like that. Okay. America would be transformed economically into a third world nation. Yeah, I think we're on track from that. And of course, before, you'll have the people come up and say, Daigle was just a massive conspiracy theory, bunch of people making stuff up. Yeah. The Department of Defense, the Department of State, the CIA, the World Bank, the EU, the Navy, the Army, the Coast Guard, the Marine Corps, the Air Force were all the sources for the Daigle report. Okay. Give you other stuff if you don't know this or had never heard this. Daigle's report said the U.S. population would drop from the 350 some odd million people that we have now to 54 million. That 300 million people in the United States alone are going to die. Okay. How ready are you for all this to play out? This is exactly, 100% purely perfect what preppers have been talking about for years. That there would be a war, that there would be famine, that there would be economic collapse. Oh, gee. There was another report that came out a couple of 1,000 years ago saying the same thing. It's in a little black book, just in case you wonder where that one's from, if you got the reference. But go read that one a couple of times. This is what you got. U.S. population dropping, Israel's population dropping, economies crashing. This is exactly what's going on. But think about what this all is to usher in. The New World Order, build back better. We heard that one, okay? Gee, before you can build something back, you have to destroy it first. This is all 100% orchestrated. Let's start a war with Russia in Ukraine. Ukraine would have got run over in 2 or 3 days. Putin would have been right that Ukraine would have just been steamrolled hadn't the United States and NATO got involved. But Joe wanted a war. This was part of Build Back Better, the New World Order. Got to destroy it. We know Joe is backing Hamas. Okay. They come out, we're sending $100 million in humanitarian aid to Palestine. Right. Okay. Because you didn't send them cans of Spam. You sent them money. Hamas controls the country. They get the money. They buy the weapons from North Korea, from Iran, wherever it would be. Okay? This is all planned 100%. Just like we said, 1984, Orwell's book was supposed to be a piece of fiction, not an instruction manual. Okay? The same thing with the Daigle report. It wasn't supposed to be a piece of fiction. It was a prediction based on people in the know. And the reason why they are so panicked about Trump is Trump playing along with this. You know, Hillary was supposed to come in 2016 and continue Barack Obama's reign of terror. They got put on the sidelines for 4 years. Joe came in and said, okay, you're going to be the puppet so we can put this thing on fast forward and move. We have 1 more year of this criminal administration trying to kill us. We need to do whatever we can to make it through to the other side. You know, everybody always talks about SHTF and living during it. My goal is to make it through it and come out the other side of the tunnel. That's what everybody's goal should be. That's why we're prepping. We're not prepping to survive. We're prepping to live. There's a big difference. We'll survive during the hell that is the war that is coming. But we need to live on the other side coming out. And there's going to be a massive change in the way, how do you want to put it? I don't want to say governments operate, but how the overall rule of law in the world is going to be. Do I believe we will see hangings in the town square? Absolutely. Okay. Because all these traitors who have been trying to sell out the world to benefit themselves, put 10% in the big guy's pocket, eventually they're going to have their day. Ain't going to be in court. It's going to be in the town square. Your job and my job is to make sure we are the ones sitting there with our picnic basket watching, and not the ones at the gallows.